Okay. B. Gill, welcome. We are in the TA certified lab, TA certified podcast. This is what
Mhm.
it is episode 6. I've done 2 now with Corey, 2 now with my boy Andrew, 1 with Wesley, and runner up number 6 is my boy Brandon. Brandon, introduce yourself, give a little spiel, tell the folks how the fuck we should know you as, Brandon.
Um, know me as I'm a
Yeah. Yeah.
quiet kind of guy,
For sure. For sure.
but when you get to know me, I can get energetic and
Oh yeah. I have some videos.
I'm like a quiet Leonard kind of quality. Like I'm a fun guy, but I
Okay.
know Tyler for since what high school.
That's what I was thinking, bro. Like, I think I think our story of friendship is like the perfect example of what sports can do.
Oh,
Because,
facts.
bro, like I came into Simi Valley, like I didn't know anyone. I had long hair, bright green and orange shoes, and like wore a cutoff
Bro,
T-shirt that said Guns N' Roses.
bro, there's very many like little things that I can like picture in my head very clearly. But I can remember sitting in RN's class up like
Oh
under the
shit!
bungalows up at the top of like by the very outskirts of the school.
Yep.
And I
Simi
remember you
High,
sitting there, yeah, exactly, and you had the Guns N' Roses cut off
cutoff,
sleeves. You
cutoff
had
sleeves.
jeans with like holes in them, and before people
Yes,
were wearing holes in their jeans. So I'm
yes,
insane fashion starter. That's all I'm
bro.
saying.
I was fucking there before people were there.
And then you were wearing lit ass like I think you were wearing lit ass like Jordans or something.
Bro, it was the neon yellow and orange fucking Nikes.
Nikes, were they Nikes or
Nikes.
Jordans?
They were Nikes, but they were fucking like step out on the town shoes, and I thought they were ball shoes.
Bro, like low key, like the drip was on point, low key.
You know what's funny? So the backstory on that shit, I'm like new to town, right? I'm like, Dad, like I want to try out for the basketball team. Like because before that I had only played co-ed basketball with boys and girls on my fucking team. Like I had never
Oh, so you
played.
never played like in a
I played like a organized, but it was like co-ed and shit. Like I remember
oh,
having girls on my team, bro. Like
I don't
I didn't play only against men all the time. Like when I did, it was like playing around at the park or some shit. You know what I'm
what
saying? So it was
the
never like organized legit. So I was like, Dad, I'm kind of scared. Like he's like, you got to make a statement, Tyler. You got to go out there and make a statement. You got to get some shoes that say, "Look at me." And I'm like, I guess. And then we're looking at shoes, and he sees those, and he's like, Tyler, these are the ones. I was like, I don't know, dude. He's like, you're gonna make a noise here. You're gonna like, that's the shoe. That is the fucking shoe. And I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna get those shoes. And then literally, I remember we're all tried out and shit. And we come into a huddle afterwards when we'd all done the thing, and he goes, I remember Aaron going something, and where the hell did you get those shoes? And I'm like, are you talking to me? Like
you're
I
like
had never been talked to like that before, you know? So
we got him, Dad. We got him.
I was like, Dad, we fucking got him. Your little concept of wearing the bright shit to catch some people's eye, it worked, dude.
I know
It
for a fact I
worked.
remember Arn saying something. I do remember him
Oh,
saying something.
100%. I don't know what exactly he said. Oh, this is what it was. Dude, it just came to me. We were having a see me we were gonna do a like a garage sale like of see me shit, so like to raise money for booster stuff. So like you were gonna bring of stuff to like either to donate for local charities and shit, or to sell and then to hopefully bring back to our thing. And he goes, and we're definitely selling those fucking shoes. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Like,
And then
God
I remember,
damn, bro.
yeah, and I go home and I look and I search these shoes. I go, oh, well, like, what's the deal? They're fucking not even basketball shoes. And that's when I knew. I was like, Dad, fucked up. But hey,
Wait, you picked those to be basketball shoes? I thought you picked those just to be like
no,
stylish, like fine, like so people could see you.
it was supposed to be like the style mixed with the actual basketball shoe.
Oh my God.
I did not know that those were not supposed to be like legitimately worn as basketball shoes. So I mean, shit. But the concept here, okay. So we fucking met basically. Like you were a what? You were a
I
sophomore.
was a sophomore. I was a year above
Okay,
you. Yeah.
a year above me, and just like you had been and seen me for years, you
Yeah.
had made, you knew the crew,
Yeah.
you knew like the sophomore team, and then the
Yeah,
juniors
and
and
because
seniors.
my brother was on varsity before, I knew all like I knew the
Yes,
seniors, I knew the juniors because they a lot of the seniors or a lot of the juniors were on the varsity team were on my travel team. So it's like I knew
yeah,
they all played in the same organization. So like a lot of the
yep.
people already knew exactly.
So like the chances of us being friends just off me, if I were to just come in to see me without playing basketball, like what, 0%? Like almost zero. Like there's the chance
Pro-
that we would have met each other, sat down and actually had a conversation, like chopped it up, like 0%
prob-
maybe.
Probably.
and just through basketball, through me playing, through me being made fun of, through just the fucking, because you got bumped up a level, so we never even practiced together even, you know what I'm saying? Like we did, but like when it was like a JV senior and sophomore and freshman, like you were already JV when I was a sophomore, so I was doing
Oh yeah,
summer
you're right. Yeah,
freshman,
you're
you know what
right.
I'm saying? Like we
Yeah,
did when it was like the big practices when everyone was there for
yeah, yeah.
basketball, but like the chances we had at talking, I think you were friends with Derek maybe, and that's
Yeah, I
how
was
it
friends with Derek
became.
because Derek was on our team at that point.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
yeah, because my sophomore year. Wait, when did I play with Derek? I didn't play
Like
with Derek until my junior
junior
year.
year.
Yeah,
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 because Derek's older than you, no?
yeah. Derek's older than me.
Exactly. So I think he was a junior, actual junior, and you were you were on the junior team as a sophomore though, weren't
No,
you?
no.
Like,
Me and Derek are on the same grade,
oh,
but
okay,
so
okay.
Derek was a freshman playing on freshman. I was playing on sophomore,
There you
and then
go.
my
That's what it
sophomore
was.
year for JV, I was hurt the whole year.
Mm,
And then I stayed on JV 2 years. That's why I played JV 1 year. I didn't play, and the second year I played because I was hurt the first year. And that
mm,
second year is when I played with Derek.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. But me and
Okay.
Derek had already been like we'd already
No,
known each other
Cagers and
before.
stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And Cagers is like this organization that is, takes the young basketball players and helps them get better so they can be ready for high school, basically, right?
yep, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool. And we ended up after playing ball and going through all that. Like I quit my going into my junior year. I think you played all the way through, no?
yeah, yeah.
And we still ended up playing on a travel team after
That bro, that fucking what was that
805
team
Hive.
name?
805 Hive.
805 Hive. You're right, bro.
Yes.
Do you
And we,
remember that team? Oh my
dude,
god,
I just remember always getting fucking absolutely destroyed. But that is where I was exposed to a different level of competition where I realized, like, bro, this is not something I'm going to be doing for any sort of length of time.
bro. You know when I figured that out when it was between my junior and senior year. It was like probably spring. I remember I came back from my injury.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing spring ball. I remember this was the first time I stopped starting for a little bit. I remember I stopped starting in spring ball for some
Okay.
reason. And then I was like kind of like, I don't know, I was kind of like not motivated to play. And then I remember my parents took me to this other travel team that I hadn't played. It was in Pasadena called BTI. And they're like
Huh.
really good, like a really good like, AAU team.
Okay.
And like they travel everywhere. They travel to like Denver, like
Right,
Kansas
right, right.
City, Missouri.
They went everywhere.
And then I practiced with them once. I just was like so like outclassed. I was like, these kids are so much better than me. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's when I kind of realized, like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't necessarily love it, so I'm like, I don't necessarily think I'm gonna go
Right.
anywhere with it. You know?
Right. Like, because if you're gonna like be at a deficiency when you see yourself like, okay, these people are obviously better than me, you have to fucking love that thing to be able to catch up. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you gotta love it so you can put in the hours and not feel like you're working. Just feel like you're just playing and
Like
having fun doing it. You know?
exactly. Yeah. Because see, I was there with basketball for a little bit. Like when I hurt my ankle doing some bullshit like training on my own and ended up like not playing for 3 weeks. I think it was during summer, so it didn't really matter. But during those 3 weeks, I like taught myself how to shoot without jumping. So like during that time when I was just like shooting in my front little whatever at my and because we had like a little basketball hoop in the street and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I just loved it, dude. Like I would be out there for hours and like not even thinking about anything. So I remember being there, but then once like it came back to like doing the conditioning and doing the fucking everyday like grind of it all, like maybe like I think science back then and my parents didn't know what could be done for recovery and our coaches weren't
Oh,
necessarily the
none of
fucking.
them. They weren't doing
Dude, they didn't
anything
know
for recovery for
shit.
us. Yeah, they
They
weren't
didn't
doing
know
anything.
fucking shit. For if anything, Brandon, do you remember that practice where we were taking too long to drink water, and the next one we came in, they said no more water breaks and no stretching, and that same fucking practice, 6 people pull up
Got hurt.
fucking lame, bro.
Yeah.
Pull up lame because we're dehydrated and absolutely unstretched. Like
Bro, I
that's
remember that.
crazy.
They remember said no more water. They said no more
No more
water, bro.
water. We're like, what?
All right,
Like,
we're gonna die, I guess.
dude, to think about that real quick. Like, okay, we're now 20. I'm 28. You're what, 29?
20. I'll be 29 next month.
Okay, 29 next month. I'll
Yeah.
be 29 in March. So it's been about, okay, we graduated 2012. You did 2011. So we've been out for what? It's about 10 years now.
It's been 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
So
graduated 2011. Yep.
exactly. So it's been a decade. And
Yeah.
think about how much the culture has completely changed
Changed.
in the world, bro. I mean, absolutely. Because if we
Oof.
would have told anyone about what those coaches were doing to us on just dude on a random Tuesday, they
Yeah.
would have been on the front page of some shit and being can't and dude and just being absolutely and then we would have been like, dude, it was absolutely like negligent some of the
It,
shit they were doing.
I know. I mean, but thinking about it, like thinking back at it, I'm glad like we were
Yeah.
the last like
Yeah.
generation to go through that kind of
I
thing.
was just about to say that.
Because like I personally now like you look back on it, it's like it really is like a lot of those things. A lot of the ways that they were on us was like very
Mhm.
character building. Like as lot as
Mhm.
far as like I know for a fact like the whole like remember if we were late and they made us run
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
to this day like keeps in
Yep.
my mind like
Right.
being late anywhere. Like I'm always
Right.
like try to be super on time for things, even though for work I'm not on time a
Yeah.
lot. But that's only
Yeah.
because they make me work overtime. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm on time, and that's like one of the things I like to attribute why I'm
You
like
point
that because
to.
of
Yeah.
the way they were at basketball practice.
Yeah, no, I for almost every interview I've ever had for a job, and they go like, how can we trust that you can be a team player? How can we trust that you can, show up and do what you're supposed to do when no one's watching and stuff like that? I'm like, I always go and point to like the rigorousness of basketball, the rigorousness of how they expected excellence from us, and at even such a young age when we were just kids just trying to fuck around at most of the time
Yeah,
outside of we're eating hot Cheetos right before we even come into practice and shit. Like just being, and like they still wanted us to be the fucking best. So
brothers.
yeah,
Brothers, some days why I want to eat lunch and you have practice after school and you're doing like
no,
running like 2 miles like around the neighborhoods. I'm like,
yep, yep,
not be
yep.
doing this.
We're being worked like we're gonna do the conditioning before to do a little warm up, and then we fucking get into it in practice, and then afterwards we're running the track
Running
for
again,
forever.
yeah.
Like, dude, like I can never like I love now running is my like life. My running is my
Bro,
like everything that I do every day. I've run. To think that back then I would be telling myself 10 years from now you'll be running every day for health and for your like whatever. I would be like shut the fuck up. But I think it's because back then, first of all, I was much more overweight, right? And I didn't understand the mechanics of running. For the most part, I was running in my basketball shoes on the track instead of
shoes.
running shoes,
Yeah.
right? So there was so much shit I was doing to put myself at a disadvantage and to hate running, and then how I was treated because like I was being so struggled through it. But like I think because of that, it got me to a place that I want to go like, well, fuck you. I'm going to show you that I can end up being healthy, love running, and all this stuff. And doing it on my own accord. It's like that's not obviously the reason that I'm now trying to be like I run every day and I'm like going, oh, it's because of high school. Like it's my trauma. It's
Yeah.
not that. But it's like, no, but like when I'm on like my like this is like a tangent at this point, but when I'm on like mile 3 or mile 4, and I'm fucking tired and I'm like, I don't want to run anymore, but I just like know what I'm gonna feel like afterwards. I do go back to like high school shit. Like I do go back to the times where like say like I mean I don't want to call people out, but like a Nolan Reed or like a Colin Fultz would say some shit during like a practice about like my weight or something. And for some reason, like
Bro,
that fucking gets me going. Right. And so
bro.
I think it's not like a bitterness, but like, those things in life, you can pocket them and take from them and implement them into like modern day struggles, and it can ignite you to look at your current issue in a different way and get you fired up. Because sometimes like just just hoping that you're going to wake up or hoping that you're going to find that like juice sometimes doesn't work. We need a
Mhm.
little extra. So if you
Yeah.
can like take from like the past where you did feel like less than, but like you fucking grew from that, you can go like, well, fucking, if I can do that. And I was a little high school kid at the time getting no support, really, whatever the fuck. But like, you can take that and like use that as fuel for your current
Facts.
fucking shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, man.
Yeah. And that's
You
why I
really
think
be
you're going back to like saying the concept of them instilling this drive for us, even for you now, you're like, I want to be early. I want to like think of myself as someone who is the fucking best or is trying to whatever it is. There is still
yeah.
things that like rattle our cage because of what happened during high school and
And,
basketball and shit.
and because it would push you to the point like when you're already like say you're already like at the you feel like you're at your limit, they would like give you a little extra push, even if it
Yep.
maybe was like even if it seemed like it may have been negative,
Right.
is really
Right.
just something to get you past that level that you thought you were at.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's and I feel like you had like a dad who was super involved with you. I had family who was super involved. So we're super lucky in that way that we have like we could go home and still get that from like our parents too.
Yeah, yeah.
But for people who maybe didn't have that during that time, that's why like Arend and Coach Moore and all those coaches became to some of them like almost like a not a god, but like they
A
really looked up to the
father
yeah.
figure, yeah,
There you go.
almost.
There you go. That's a better word. That's a better word.
Coach Moore and Coach Arand and like I don't know if you remember um Earl who was at the Cagers and
Heard a
Tim
lot about him.
like those four were like they all had like very similar coaching styles, like very like hard on you, and like that's the kind
Right.
of coaching that I love personally.
Right. Yeah. And because I think that like begs for that person to just rise to an occasion that
Yeah.
at your young age you just don't even know is available to you yet. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I used to get yelled at Earl so much when he was when we were like when I was playing with him in middle school. Like, I used to always some like in the morning games because we had tournaments days where you have 3 games in a day. So like you start your
Yeah.
first games in the morning and I'd come out like really sluggish. He's like, so you better wake up. He used to say it all the time, bro. It's always sounded so funny.
And see that's
He'd pull me out the game with like in like the first like 3 minutes. He's like, you better
because
wake up.
yeah, we better
Then he
fucking
realized
wake
like
up.
then he'd realize that he needs me, so he put me back in there. He's like, all right, get back
Right. No, dude, and they just like and for them too, like they're grown-ups, and now that we know like what age brings, like at our age, we know what age brings with wisdom, knowing people's like attributes and how to push and how to pull and how to, you know, manage those personalities. Like he was probably even more frustrated because like you've always been someone who feels like really wants to like I don't know, you were like you said you're quiet, so that means you like nose to the grindstone. You usually like when coaches said something like you would
Exactly.
always fucking do it, like you
Exactly.
were just that guy.
That's literally
So
on a
yeah,
T how I am exactly.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's I think that kind of like you I think you said it first, like me saying it in a way that like, could you imagine if nowadays they did that? But like, dude, some of these people, some of these kids, some of these teenagers, some of these fucking people who are even 23, like really miss that. Really didn't ever get told like, for the lack of a better word, like you ain't shit, or they never saw for themselves like you ain't shit. What also basketball taught you, like what you said and what I said, you see people who are that much better than you, and you like sometimes you go, I'm gonna fucking like I'm gonna work, I'm gonna play some defense right now, you know, or
Yeah.
some whatever. But like some of these people never have been told like, hey, maybe like someone's better than you know, and like what are you gonna do about that? And like for you, and I just think it's we were that last generation to get
Yeah.
that like
We really
that
were, I
loud
feel
like
like.
slap in the ass of like, come on guys, because in a decade, dude, it's a totally different world, like
Yeah.
100%.
It's just like, man, it's like a lot of things that build character. I just feel like kids could be potentially be missing out. I mean, I'm sure there still are coaches out there
For
that are
sure,
like that,
for sure.
but I mean, I feel like the majority, like, yeah, they could be getting a lot of like, what's it called, like, clapback from like parents or something like that. If they think they're going
Hmm.
too hard on the kids, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because a lot of these parents now too are like what they call helicopter or tiger parents, where they're just like, dude, like overbearing to the point where it's like, okay, do you want to coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just coaching your kid, I'm coaching 13 or 10 other people's
Yeah,
kids. And imagine like a football coach, like 40, 50 people's kids. So like
yeah.
as
Like,
much as
and
the yeah, go ahead.
how are you ever going to get better if something no one's ever criticizing you harshly? You're not going to just get better just by
Totally,
like people saying, "Oh yeah, you're doing a good job." Like
totally.
maybe do something like maybe do this a little bit better. Like no, you got to like tell them like
Yeah,
otherwise you're gonna think, all right, he thinks I'm pretty good. I'll just keep doing
right.
what I'm doing, you know.
Totally.
Maybe
Yeah.
put a little extra work, but he thinks I'm doing okay, so
Sure.
I'll just
Sure.
keep going like that, you know.
Sure. Yeah. And that's why these participation trophies might be the worst thing that could ever happen to like younger children, you know? Because the best like reality slap is like to see someone where you like, oh, I studied so hard, like I'm gonna get an A, and you
Yeah,
get like the A, but like someone gets like 100, and you're like,
yeah,
what the fuck, you know? Like, and some people that makes them want to get the 100 the next time, and so for other people, they're like, I still did an A, I don't give a fuck, you know? There's two
yeah,
different people, and I think we need those people who go, no, I'm gonna get the fucking 100 next time.
yeah,
But for this world to like generate and just work in the way it has for lack of the like for better or for worse, like how it has, like we need those people who are trying to achieve, and for some people who just like just want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like just want to like do what they do, work their job, go and on the weekends hang with the family. Like there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's also nothing wrong with someone who fucking wants to be the best.
Who's just obsessed about doing
Obsessed.
exactly doing
Yeah.
what they got to do.
Yeah, and I think everyone, if we all came to more of a culture where like those things were both celebrated, but for
Mhm.
what they were, not like put on a pedestal, because capitalism and like what money's done is made it seem like if you're making X, like you are you can talk about that thing. You can you're more educated on that thing. You're successful now. You know what I'm saying? Like Trump was supposed to be super successful guy, and you look at his like tax forms and shit, it's like, oh, you've been like doing dirty shit for years. So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
not always the dollar figure tells you the success of a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think if we came to a culture that was like not so Instagramized, where everything is like it has to be beautiful at all times, like look at me making this and look at me on this boat and all that, and
Like, it
just
looks good on this end, but on this end, it's,
right,
like, not exactly what you think it
right,
is.
right, and like it should be okay to not be what you think it is, because that's sometimes that's just life, right? It's not what you think it is, or it's like it's okay to have a weekend with the family, and or these people are clubbing. Like we shouldn't have like culture wars over like, oh, you're home with the kids and well, oh, you're just clubbing all the time. Like there should
Yeah,
be able to just like each people do their thing and stay in your
exactly.
lane and like just live your life. Because through that, like culture wars happen, and then we get so distracted with like bullshit and like what's the left think and what's the right think. Well, like the people in Washington are just like washing money and just like not passing legislation and like continuing to not help the communities or the people that need it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, but like just think about the culture where, remember, let's talk about transgenderism all the time. Let's talk about like what they're teaching kids. Like we should be talking about that. Don't get me wrong, but like
Mhm,
for that to
but it's
dominate the airways
exactly, it really does
is
dominate, like, all that
it
stuff,
really
like and
does.
even the, like, negativity things, like murder and violence things on the news, like, it
Mm-hmm.
just dominates, like, I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like definitely should know about it, but it doesn't have to dominate, like, your whole, like, feed and everything, you
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. No, because
They just wanna
we
get
are
the most clicks or the most attention they
yes.
can get to their article or whatever, their news story.
No, and that's a good point. But so what do you think that is though? Is that like a product of like the people who what they want to see, or is that just like what we're being fed that we
I
end up clicking on?
I feel like that's what we're being fed. I feel like we're just in
Mhm.
such that, like,
Mhm.
that routine of, like, whenever news did start getting popular, whenever I don't know when that was, like, TV
Yeah.
news, I mean, I don't know
Right.
whenever that was, but, like, I feel like that's just how it was, and that's how it's always been, and I feel like until, like, someone, like, really high up
Mhm.
gets in there and changes, like, "This is what I want to be seen on our
Totally.
television show, our network," like,
Totally.
it's not gonna change. Otherwise, if they're just looking, like, for their numbers and the money, like, it's never gonna change because that's what I feel like gets the most attention, the most views.
Yeah. No,
Like,
it's
if
true.
you ever, like, seen, like, a person from, like, a maybe, like, a parent's generation, like, you always
Mhm.
notice, like, they're always watching news because like
Yes.
and it, like it's for
Yes.
them, it's, like, super like, I don't know what it is, if it's entertaining, if they feel like it's
Right.
informational, or,
Right.
like, even
Right.
if it's, like, stuff like 7 people were killed in a store
Right.
today, like, you always see them, like, watching, like, to me,
Mhm.
I don't find that entertaining at all.
No.
So I don't know
No.
if that's, like, a generational thing or, like, what's going on, I
You
don't know.
I think it is partly generational because that's why we look at those like CNN's, Fox News, CSNBC or MSNBC, and we go like, that's legacy media. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
legacy media, where there's like the Bill O'Reillys and there's like the Rachel Maddows and the Don Lemons and all them who are like have that like that I guess power over a certain subsect of culturally tribal people who are just
yeah,
like left no matter what or
uh-huh,
right no matter what. Like they just have their people. Sean Hannity too, you know, or Tucker Carlson. Like there's just people who listen to them, and anything those motherfuckers say like is yeah, that's right, that's just correct.
yeah.
And like
Or it's other way, no, it's wrong, it's which
e-
is terrible, which
exactly,
is terrible.
exactly. There's no gray area here. It's
Yeah, you have
always
to
just like it's always flame wars. Like it's always just like fuck you, I'm right. Like no, fuck you. And like because of that, like people don't give themselves the chance to like change their fucking mind. And when people
exactly,
do change their mind, they get attacked. You know?
yeah,
Like so
it's
I think that's what but I think that's what like we see like through like these bigger like blue check marks on Twitter or like celebrities and stuff. Like we see that because like for some reason people are obsessed with like those kind of people, like the people who are like actors, actresses, and like what they do. Oh, did you see what they did? Did you see what they said? All that bullshit, you know. But I think day to day, like me and you having this conversation, like we're just talking about this because it's good to have conversation other than the general bullshit that friends talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like for the like, I'm not saying we always need to be so serious when you're with friends and like be like, what about this? And no, but like there is a time and place where, you know, like you and your friends should talk about fucking what is going on with like serious stuff, like political things or cultural things, even like having a general like a serious conversation, because those are your friends. Like you can have like a space to say what you want and not feel like, fuck, I don't really know this person. If I say this, am I gonna like offend, whatever, maybe, you know? But I think because in San Diego, I don't have many friends still, dude. Like I'm still trying to work that like system of meeting people, and through meeting different people and like having like, because a lot of these people now I'm meeting at like my age, so people want to have different conversations, just like the general stuff we did in our like early 20s. You know, now people do want to talk about what's going on. So I'm able to like navigate conversations in a way where like, because I'm not left and I'm not right. Like I'm like in the middle with like right values and some left values. And like I just think that like I'm seeing so many people in San Diego who are just like, it's blue no matter what. And I'm trying to have like genuine friends and not just like these people who are like just like captured almost, you know.
I feel like that's the way you said you were, so you're kind of very central. That's I feel like that's just the probably the most like the
majority
best way to go, because it's like you don't want to really be too attached to something where you're seeing blind, like, and you're just blind to the truth or blind to the potential truth. I'm not saying the truth,
sure,
potential truth, you know.
Yeah,
it's just like you can't just go into something looking one way. Like you have to see both ends. Like everything in life is all perspective. You have to like, see from both sides. Like if someone you're arguing with, you have to like try to be in their brain, like thinking, all right, why would they feel this way? You know what I mean, I always try to do that, because it's like, you have to understand, like you think you could be right, but you in real life, like actuality, you don't. No one knows everything. Nobody knows everything. People will say, "Oh, you can't fly." Maybe somewhere down the road, maybe we haven't figured it out yet. You don't know.
Sure.
People are saying, "Oh, you can't fly like with electricity, only electricity and like planes, or whatever." Maybe we don't know yet.
Right.
There's so many things in life. Like if you'd have told me, like you told someone like 1,000 years, oh, you're gonna be driving this gasoline powered thing, like flipping around, or I'm gonna be talking to my friend across the state, and I'll be looking him in the face, and we're gonna be hearing you're gonna be hearing his voice like he's right in front of me.
Good point.
You're fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, you're a fucking like you're a lunatic. Like burn this person. Burn this person alive.
Yeah. Exactly. Burn him at the stake.
Burn them at the stake and throw rocks at them.
If you really want to trip your like mind out, like when me and Wes are playing, like we play like Warzone or something, we're like we're in like a 3D like thing, and we're playing each other, and we can see each other's screen, what's on each other's screen at the same exact time, across different areas through lines in the ground.
Seriously,
like it makes no sense. It makes zero fucking sense.
Yeah, and like,
or imagine if I'm Wi-Fi, it's fucking through the air, like
literally, like airdrop. Sense. Like, what the fuck is airdrop?
It's the most insane thing to think about.
It's insane. Like, it's just like it's fucking floating, and our phone electronically captures it and is like mine.
Yeah, bro, it's insane. It really is
through servers. Yeah, it's like we don't know these things because we haven't been like traditionally trained in the information. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not like giving like it's not like electricity 101. Welcome, Brandon. Like we haven't done that. So we're not gonna have like good fucking opinions here. But like to think like abstract about it, like just like on a general like human basis, like you are communicating with fucking like me and you currently right now, like live, like I'm seeing you do this, like at the same time as you're doing that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's fucking insane, the technology that it's gone from like the 70s to the 2000s. But what I'm also seeing now, and I was listening to a podcast about American, like not excellence, but like what we do well, and like how we stacked up against other countries and what we do well, right? And it's like we have like flatlined really since like I would say they were saying like 2005, 2010, from like when the iPod and stuff like that was coming out, and like a lot of like big technology jumps were happening. Since then, it's been like flat. Like there's been no like huge revolutionary thing that's happened, and that's like change the world or like really put someone on the map, you know, like they're still haven't cured cancer, still haven't cured like so many of these fucking things, which we gotta like we don't again, we don't know shit, so it could be much
Yeah.
harder than I think. But like, how long has this issue been a thing? Like, are you know, like shouldn't we be so far along, or are we just spending so much of our time trying to like make the next best phone or the next best thing that
Things
like
that, like, don't necessarily need to be
right
even improved, like,
that like
how
will just
good can an iPhone get? Like, it's pretty
yes
good already, you know?
right
It's like, what else do we
right
need? Like,
exactly Brandon.
when I got my new iPhone, like, I don't even think there's probably, like, 25 features, new features from my iPhone 7 to my
Hmm.
iPhone 12 that I don't even know how to use. Even know that
Exactly.
honestly, don't even know that they exist probably.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, you're innovating things that people don't necessarily need. I guess it's cool to have, but we don't
Exactly.
need it, you know?
Exactly. And instead of like, why don't we just like, hey, for the next 10 years, like the phones, everyone's phones, like this is what you got. We're next 10 years, we're gonna put all our resources towards like fixing this fucking thing that's causing
Yeah.
so much like death, destruction, whatever the word is, across America. Like look at the opioid fucking crisis since like I mean it's been rising forever, but then since COVID, it's been like this and just gone
Mhm.
fucking up, you know? And like
Yeah.
so you go okay, I'm gonna take away like the one natural thing that people like love to stay alive for is friendship, family, right? Those things are what people keep people like going. You know what I'm saying? When it's like down, like you, what do you think about? I could really use a fucking friend right now, or I want to call my mom, my dad, I want to just something, you know? So like to be able to like take away touch and like human interaction, and then expect people to like keep their shit together, you know,
Yeah.
like it 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 I don't know, like me, like you seem fucking fine. It's been 2 years. Like we've obviously stayed well, but we're also blessed with like so many different factors that like many people in different
Oh,
like poor parts of
100
the country do not
100%.
have access to. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? So we might be able to sit down and be like, look at these fucking people doing this crazy shit. But it's also like, well, what has their last 2, 3 years been like? Been not even 2, 3 years, but like their childbirth from like 1 to 10. Like those are the most formative years of a person's life. Like what was that? Was there a family member that gave a fuck? Was there like biggest role model, someone who was like doing terrible things, but like that's just the person that happened to be around that they looked up to, you know? So
That's
yeah.
fact.
And we've been as much as See Me has its flaws and stuff, like we were lucky to like have that like high school time, those people there for all their like shit. Like we had like I don't know, it was like a safe space. Like I felt like I always like wasn't in like trouble or danger out there. It was always like you could like
Facts.
be a kid out there, you know,
That
or
that's
like be
another
a
thing
young
when
teen.
when I go back to the word perspective, it's like you gotta realize like what a small percentage of like
Mm-hmm.
what like of person you are. Like you could have been like born in a different country. Like your whole
Literally,
childhood could have been like literally nothing. You could have never even
literally,
lived in a house, lived in like a fucking hut your whole entire
seriously,
life.
or been like a gypsy nomad, like popping around.
Exactly. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy that like well, that's
Mm-hmm.
whenever like something bad happens to me or something like I'm having like a bad day or like something
Sure.
unfortunate happens. Like you got to remember like is it so bad what's going on with me right now? Because it's like other people have been like this, have
Yeah.
worse situations going on right now their
Like
entire lives. So it's like
seriously.
you gotta just like
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
I
just
think I think using that is like a good way to keep yourself humble and
I,
keep yourself like present from not being like fuck I'm so unlucky like look at this
bro.
but you know
I used to do that all the time.
yeah
I used to always say in my head, I'm the most unlucky person in the world. I used to say that in my head all
see
the time. I'm the most unlucky person in the
mm,
world. And I like you take a step
mm,
back, you're like, shut
mm-hmm,
the fuck up.
mm-hmm,
No, you're not.
right
You're not even
even
close.
close
So
right
shut up. And then you realize, all right, you're right. And
yeah
like you go back to
yeah
just
it like
go
resets you a little bit
exactly.
yeah
I do that shit all the time.
yeah yeah because it's so easy to right like as a person just to be like fuck I'm the only this is the only bad thing that's happened to me of course it's me like no one else is having a shit day you know like
Bro. Facts.
and to think about like the best day of your life, right? Think about the best day of your life, Brandon, whatever that fucking day is. That day was also someone's worst day ever.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler, not even bullshit. That fucking just gave me chills. Not even
You know what I'm
joking.
saying?
Yeah, that's
So,
fucking
like, your
insane.
best fucking day ever, Brandon, was the absolute god awful day for somebody else. So, like,
God, bro.
perspective is a fucking that's why being what's the word? Like self-aware. Like being self-aware. Like you can have a moment be like, fuck, this sucks. Like for what I'm in my circumstances, what I've done in my life so far, like this affecting me this way fucking sucks. In the grander scheme of life, I am lucky, But like to give yourself that moment, because if you're always like, I'm just lucky, and you're always like never dealing with whatever shit that does happen, like there will be a day, there will come a time where like you're tired, and that thing that comes will then feel like a huge wave when you could have just knocked out those other things on the way to make that wave not so fucking big, right?
Yeah,
so like there is a place for like giving your time to be like, this fucking sucks, but then you do like after an hour, whatever like time frame feels good for you, like probably healthily 30 minutes to an hour of like feeling bad for yourself. And then after that you should be like, yeah, like, okay, I'm in Southern California, I am living in a home, I have food, yeah, like boom boom boom, like you are like you might not be the 1% of Southern California, but you're looking at like general world poverty and like how people are living, like looking at Yemen, looking at fucking like Saudi Arabia, like all these countries where people are just like desperate, bro, desperate. And we were like, our childhood was like playing basketball, like fucking riding bikes and shit. Like we really had it good. It was crazy.
Honestly.
It was crazy. But let's fucking switch it up. What about, I want to look at, it's not going to be like voiced. I don't think it's going to be sound, but let's look at the fucking promo for this UFC fight tonight.
Bro,
yeah?
I'm down.
Okay. Again, let's just talk over it because I couldn't figure out how to.
Side note of this week when I was like, oh, I'm the most unlucky person in the world.
Okay. I'm going to hear it.
Side note, this is a little short story.
I want to hear the short story, Brandon.
What day it was, either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
My last leg of my parlay. Padres up 6-0 against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
No.
I was like, I looked at it. Oh, last game of the day, we're chilling. Easy $80. Easy for like $5.
Don't say you lost.
$5 for $80. Oh, easy. No. Arizona Diamondbacks come back.
Oh,
and fucking beat
my
them.
God.
Literally last play of the game. There was a man on first, man on third. The ball is a grounder in the infield. So it's easily he could have thrown it to first. He could have thrown to second. He like kind of like hesitates and he ends up throwing to second. The guy on second base like bobbles it and the guy's safe. And the guy at third scores and I lose. I'm like,
unfucking believable.
There's no way. I'm like, there's no way. I'm the unluckiest person ever. I'm good. I'm fine.
Fuck. Sports gambling.
Oh
my God, Brandon. I've lost so much money on the NBA playoffs. It's disgusting. I've lost so much money. And before the NBA playoffs, I was killing it in NFL gambling. Like I was doing okay. And then I lost some money, but like I was like, I'm only gonna gamble NFL. I'm only gonna do it. And then I found out like this new betting site Corey has is like a player parlay thing. And I'm like lost so much money, dude.
Bro, that's what I said. I literally said, I was like, after the NFL season, I'm done. I'm done. And then just what's one gonna do?
Right.
And then the next thing you know, after NBA playoffs, I'm done.
What site do you use?
Baseball. I use we just hit up our friend in Arizona.
Cool. Yeah. We use some like Corey's got some bookie random fucking. It's like the site's like called Red.88.
Oh shit! It sounds like an offshore website.
It probably is, bro. But yeah, you can make bets on everything, and they just recently updated it, so it's like fucking so much easier to bet, and they have so much more options to bet on shit. And I'm like, I got to be careful in the NFL season too, because like before they didn't have player stuff too.
Legalize in California in November.
Is it in November?
It's going to be on the ballot in November.
Okay, on the ballot. Okay, dude, that would be ideal. I mean, so kind of. So right now, if they legalize it, right? They legalize it, and you make 10 grand on some fucking killer bet. Like they're gonna tax your ass.
Yeah.
That's the shitty part. It's like doing these like random sites or through your friend. Like
you're not getting taxed. Well, he might be getting taxed, but
maybe.
Well, I mean, he's using DraftKings, so I don't know.
Okay, so then he's probably getting taxed. Interesting. So he's just letting you guys do it through him.
He just Venmos us.
Yeah, that was how I was doing it with Corey until he's like, just use the fucking site on your own. And then, but that's how I do it. So like when I lose, I pay Corey.
Yeah, that's my argument. Why people were like saying, "Oh, we don't like older people mostly are like, oh, we shouldn't pass it because it's gonna make a lot of gambling against." Like you realize like it's gonna be done regardless, and you guys either the state's gonna get a piece or they're not gonna get a piece. Would you rather the state get a piece and like go to different things or not get anything?
It's so dumb. That's the worst argument. Yes.
Yeah, people are gonna do it regardless.
if people only did shit that was legal, there would be no heroin overdoses. There'd be no like all that. Like just because it's illegal does not like, or just because it's legal or whatever, like it isn't going to cause someone to be like, no, oh, I didn't think I was gonna do it before, but now I'm definitely gonna do it. And then 6 months down the road, like, oh, no, I can't stop.
Like
no,
you're
I
telling
can't stop.
you're telling like an 80-year-old grandma, like, oh, cocaine's not illegal. You've never done a drug in your life. Are you now gonna do cocaine? Like,
Right.
no.
No. You create a fucking general like line that you're like, in my life, I'm gonna live like this. Legal or not legal, you've done your research. Like, even if cocaine was legal, you can still look at the science and be like, that shit will fuck me up, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, or just anyone, you could talk to anyone. Like, cocaine is, yes, random example you gave, but like,
yeah,
you can do your own fucking research basically, and like look at like, yeah. And doing your own research now is like a terrible thing to say, right? Ever since COVID, it's like, oh, what are you doing? Well, it's like either way, like when you're doing your own research or you're being told through the television or something, like you're getting your information from someone else who's doing the research for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not like in there testing the fucking thing yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're hoping that these people, that the information they're giving you is accurate and unbiased and like factual, like, so anyways, let's watch this fucking thing.
Let's watch it, bro.
Let's see. Here we go.
Bro.
I just wish there was fucking sound, Brandon. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go to the front. Boom. Boom. Back here.
There's sound.
Oh, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Can I turn it up? All the way up. There we go. Yes. We're in it.
Oh my lord.
I want that shot next. I'll get the shot.
Who's this guy?
Very Cannonier, bro.
Is he good? Oh shit. Yeah, he's got some
power. Bro, so get that guy. He fought heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight now.
No fucking way.
He's fucking huge, bro. Like,
oh my god. Look at that left. Oh, that's Izzy too. Mm-hmm.
Take one of these things.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Bro.
I'm in. Sick. I'm in. I'll probably end up like streaming that on some illegal shit, to be honest with you.
I don't want to throw out my my source.
I'm gonna ask you afterwards because I got a source that is unreliable. Brandon,
go pay for this thing. It's like $60 a year. I mean, Diego split it $30 each, and it gives you you can watch everything. It gives you all NFL games, all NBA games, all MLB games, any like BKFC like bare knuckle fighting like cards. You get like any like whenever you like crazy like Canelo cards, you can watch everything, literally everything, every sporting event.
No way, dude.
And he gives you VODs too, so like if you miss it, you can watch it after.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking. I haven't even heard of that. So for NFL, I use some like random shit, but it actually works well. Like I was able to watch Red Zone and every Eagles game last year, which was solid. But like again, like sometimes the feed would go out, and then like other six were like on some sketchy ass shit. That was dude, one time I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm clicking this link. Like it looked terrible, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I want to watch the game, and it gave me like my phone was like adding shit to my calendar and shit. I was like, oh no.
I had that once too, bro. Once you get that, you have to. I had a YouTube that had to get that off my phone.
Yeah, dude. It's probably still on my phone. They probably still see all of the shit. Like I'm probably hacked fully. So I probably need to get a new phone, dude.
We gotta talk about that later. We gotta talk about your Eagles later, bro.
Dude, what about my Eagles? What do you think? What do you think?
Nice. Looking kind of nice,
dude. They're looking really nice.
All right, well, I want to know your opinion and how you think. Because I know originally, because I remember when you were talking about when Carson Wentz was still on the team, how you still wanted Carson Wentz to play, and you were kind of like suspect about Jalen Hurts. What are your thoughts about Jalen Hurts now?
So, I think after like doing some more, just like looking into the like backstory of Carson, I was wrong. He was definitely like, dude, softer than Charmin, like just like absolutely needed it his way or the highway. Like not like he had his teammates that he liked, but he wasn't like a team guy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like really touching every corner of the fucking locker room. Like
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts makes an effort to
Yeah.
touch every corner of that locker room. And like he doesn't like I don't know, he just like is always fucking working out or playing ball
Which
or charities. Like he's like
yeah.
that dude,
As
you
a
know?
quarterback, and that's something you love to see. I love
Yes,
that.
dude, who just like loves football. Like even if he got traded from tomorrow, like he would still keep working, you know, like it
Yeah.
wouldn't even affect him. Like that's what you want. Like even if he was treated like dog shit in Philly, he would still keep working. So I think like his arm talent, dude, is like not the best. Like he'll miss some people that he should definitely hit,
Yeah.
and then he'll just like make passes harder on himself, or he'll like try and run before like a guy's like busting for the like long post, you know, and like
Yeah.
right before he's about to get open, like he'll just like take off and just miss it. So there's like money left, like he likes to say, he's like, there's money left on the table. Like I love
Yeah.
that thing. He's like, I'm leaving money on the table. It's like it's true though. So if he can like, and maybe through AJ Brown, is it? Yeah, AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was like, it's not Antonio. Something. Yeah, AJ Brown. I was like, through AJ Brown, like I think he'll find his go-to, and then Devontae could find some more room to just be that like his like blanket, right? When things get too crazy, like he can look for Devontae. And we have Dallas
Yeah.
we have some
You
fucking
guys have
guys now.
yeah, exactly. You guys got
Yeah,
some talent out there.
I'm stoked, but your Chargers, I
Bro.
mean, there's
That's
nothing to
another thing.
play
Like
with.
we have a quarterback too that he's like that same one.
Dude, you have a quarterback.
Herbert, like he's
I would
got
trade my
that
guy for your guy any
he's got
day.
that thing. He said he's come out and said he's like, I love football. Like it's something you
Fuck
love to
yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
And he's a
Yeah.
fucking big guy. So it's like
Oh,
as
massive.
far as like the injury concerns, I don't always feel that like knock on wood. Like I don't always feel like concerned like he's like brittle or anything,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Big,
But
thick
yeah,
legs,
bro.
like big base. He's got like a
I'm
big, wide hip base. You know what I'm saying?
I'm super hyped for this season, bro. I'm super hyped.
Yeah. I can't wait. Like, I think this is going to be a fun year. There'll be like one of the most like, again, you can say that for any year, but like parity driven year. There's going to be a lot of teams who I think are going to rise, and some shit like I think Cincinnati's going to take a little step back. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I think they might be
I don't know
taking a step
why.
back, Brandon.
Not to say that they're gonna be a bad next year,
Yeah.
but I could see them missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I could see them missing the playoffs like by
Yep.
like someone beating them out. Like they have the same record, but they beat them out. Like maybe the
Right.
Ravens beat them out or something like that. They could
Yeah,
both be
because
like
that
9-6 or like whatever.
yes.
I don't know if the 9-7, I guess.
Oh, because they have more games now, right? There's be
Wait,
10
how
and
many
7.
games are there? 17 games or 16?
Yeah,
games?
17 now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it would be 9
If he 9 and 8.
Yeah,
9 and 8. Yeah, well, this would be a lot. Hey, I mean, as fans, we want to see more games. So I love a 17th game. But for those poor fuckers, I mean, their body's already getting jacked the fuck up. Like
they're saying they want an extra bye week now.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of whack. I mean, then you're not. What's the extra game for? Right?
Well,
I guess. Okay. No, I see a little bit longer.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it
because I mean, if you're trying to like, we want to see the stars in the playoffs. We want to see the teams as they're full in the playoffs. So it's like I'm not against that.
I'm not against that either. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like extending it 3 weeks or 2 weeks, but like not adding any more games, just adding some extra, and like maybe adding. So right now they only have, I think, they have 6 teams that go on bye weeks at a time, or some sort of like new cluster of amount that would like be able to make it through the 19 weeks, but 17 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. I think that's a fucking way to keep bodies fresh, bro.
Get a lot of those, like maybe those like people who get like a lot of like miles on them, like the running backs and stuff, like who may be coming into the later part of the year with like a little bit Nixon like hamstring pulls and stuff like that. They give them like a little bit more time to come into the end of the season like 100% potentially.
Fuck yeah, because you have way too many dudes like just always like hurting, and I mean it's like I think I've heard on Joe Rogan's podcast, it's like car crashes almost every play. Like those dudes are going full clip at each other, dude.
Bro.
So I did like a little experiment. I had my buddy Andrew in my house. I was like, bro, like we stood like not that far apart, like how it would be if a defensive lineman was lined up and a quarterback was lined up, and there was no one on the other side, like no one blocking. It was just those two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're seeing that, if it was just like a defensive lineman and a quarterback, they're just standing there, like that length of distance apart. And I just like, let me come off the line and like try and tackle you into like some shit. And I like just did a little thing and was like wrapped him up. And he's like, fuck, dude, like that would fuck me up. And I'm like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
imagine a fucking trained like
270,
super athlete.
270. Yeah, bro. I'm always thinking like, imagine like those plays where like the running back gets it and like the fucking safety is like just coming down from however like whatever like 10, 15 yards, coming down from the backfield and just coming down full clip and no one even hits him. He gets the fucking running back full clip. Like that shit. Like, dude, legit a car crash. You're right. 100% a car crash.
And I think they did a study of like high school, college, and football or an NFL, and they looked at like brains of people who like were like, yeah, I'll volunteer my brain to scan whatever. So they found 25% of high schoolers showed signs of CTE, 50% of college people showed signs of CTE, and listen to this, Brandon, 99% of NFL players showed signs of CTE in their brain.
Holy shit, that 1% is the kickers. Like facts.
Kickers and fucking
punters, dude.
Yeah, kickers and punters. I was about to say long snappers, but those fucking dudes probably get their neck messed up and shit all the time. Think about
with that being said, would you let your kids play football if they wanted to?
I think no, bro. I think I'm not gonna not allow my child to do anything, right? If they want to, if he's like, Dad, I want to play football, and if you don't let me, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna hate you kind of shit. I'm like, go play football, like go get hit, see if you like it. If you really don't like it, like don't, because my dad let me do the same thing. I got hit once and was like, done.
You did play one season of it,
dude. I did, but like before that, I played it as a kid, and I fucking hated it. I was like, why am I coming back to do some more? And once I got hit again in high school, I was like, I hate playing football. Like I cannot play tackle football. Like I'm not. I wasn't that guy. That's why basketball was my thing. But I don't know, bro. Like that shit is rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Would you?
That's like. I feel like it's same answer. I'd probably like if they really wanted to, I let them, but I try to steer them like other ways. I'd rather them wrestle than fucking play football.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's like it's still pretty dangerous, but not as dangerous. Because again, it's all about the running full clip part. That's the part. Like it's the only sport that you're doing that.
Exactly. And running at there's no other sport you're fucking running at something like that.
Dude, so me and Wesley were talking about this, and I know you've gone to a lot of the like comedy shows with him. Fucking you guys saw Theo Vaughn at was it the Improv or was it the Laugh Factory?
I didn't see him. I saw him.
You didn't see him.
Okay. He went the day before without me. I didn't go actually.
Got it. Who have you seen? Like, who's been your favorite like person live?
I've seen the most recent one we saw Santino, Andrew Santino.
Okay. Was he good?
He was good. He was good.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee was supposed to be there, but he had COVID. He literally got COVID like the day before.
Oh, I think I heard about this actually on on Rogan's podcast. They were talking about that.
And then we saw Brendan Schaub.
Okay, how's he?
He surprised me. I found his stand up, the one he did when I was at the Improv.
Yeah,
it's the same one of his special he just put out, but I thought his was actually surprisingly really. I actually found it really funny.
Really?
Yeah, I actually found it pretty funny.
Okay.
Callum was like he was just kind of like telling stories. He wasn't like I don't really feel like he was doing like bits or anything. He was kind of just talking. I feel like
just like
shooting shit. That funny, but Chris D'Elia, he was funny. I saw Dan Cook a long ass time ago, but he was hilarious.
Really? What happened to that fucking guy? Did he get canceled?
I don't know.
Like he was huge and then did like nothing. Like for years now.
Fucking insanely huge.
Oh, I mean, he was like the Kevin Hart of that time.
Well, facts.
You know, like movies, like everything. Like he was that guy.
Bro,
I wonder.
Me and Wesley, we almost saw Dave Chappelle. He
told me this story. Tell it.
Did he tell you?
Yes. He told it on the last podcast. God. I want you to tell it.
Well, I mean, from my understanding, because he was the one who got the email from the Improv, because I don't know if I'm on the Improv's email list.
Okay.
But he got an email from the Improv saying special guests tonight, like blah blah blah. You must I think our phones will be confiscated. Like it said that on the thing. Huh. And if I would have seen his message as a comedy person who's super into the comedy scene, I would have known. Oh shit, that's someone big. That's probably either Dave Chappelle or like Rogan or something.
Honestly,
most likely Chappelle because I feel like he's out here more.
Right,
and
doing
then,
shit.
Wesley told me that I was like, bro, you should have fucking. I mean, I should continue the story. Then he saw that he saw his like special guest. He's like, oh, I didn't think anything about it, and like finds out later the next day that it was Dave Chappelle, and he did like fucking probably like a 3-hour set, because that's what he does a lot of times.
He just like sits and like just like talks. Like honestly, yeah.
Like damn, we missed an opportunity.
Bro, like that would have been
for probably like $20 too.
I mean, yeah, fuck the money too. Like that would have been holy shit. Like if, especially like just like that setting, you know, like the improv, like he's not doing an arena, like it's obviously him going there to like probably talk like, about some real shit
away from him.
Yeah, like talk about real shit on there, you know. So it's like that'd have been fucking rad, bro.
Yeah.
So I saw Tim Dillon, dude, in San Diego.
God.
It was at the American Comedy Club, and that man, like, okay, so I took Marissa, my girl, I took her to the comedy club. She's never been to a comedy show before, so I was like, I'd been to a couple when I was like, this guy is gonna fucking kill it. And she like, I had played Tim Dillon for her and stuff before, and she's like, he's okay sometimes, because you know how he gets, you know.
Yeah.
He'll go fucking like, fuck daddy, and so go crazy shit. And you're like, what the fuck? And she was like, what is going on? And I'm like dying laughing, and she's like, what is happening? But like, so he comes out and like absolutely murders it, and she is dying the whole time, like just absolutely cracking out. I'm like, okay, that's how you know this guy was so good. Like his stage presence to everything, dude. And like some of it was like throwaway lines I've heard him say on the podcast and stuff, but like to see him do it live, I was fucking dying, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, like, if like you're close enough, like for me, like everything is like fairly close. Like for you guys, you probably have to drive to LA and shit, right?
Yeah.
A little, like, yeah, you have to make a little bit of an effort out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, if you like are close enough, and like when you get the chances and stuff to chop up your week with some comedy, dude, like it's been so cool for me and Marissa to do that. We start like going to comedy shows like on a Wednesday night, middle of the week, or like a Thursday or whatever. And it's a great way to like make your week not so like mundane. You know what I'm saying? It's like so fun. Like they're usually not that expensive. If they're like, so like I went to saw Mark Norman and it was like $25, and he
that's what it is, like with all of them.
Yeah, dude.
I want to see him so bad. He's hilarious too.
Oh my god, Brandon, it is. I think Tim Dillon was like funnier because it was just like his stage presence. You know what I'm saying? Like he like was more physical with his comedy too.
Yeah.
But Mark is like a fucking like killer. Like he's just like everything is so sharp. And at the end, he did like 30 minutes of just like random talking and like taking questions from the crowd. And it was like everything people said, dude. Like he had like an answer and just like boom, boom, making people laugh. Like I would say he was the most like always on. Like every joke was like witty. You had to like think about it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I just think doing that shit during the week, like even if you go by yourself, like I've been trying to go by myself a couple times when Marissa's been like, I don't want to go, or it's just been like, it's been called the San Diego's Best, so it's like local comics. I'm just like, fuck it, you know, like go up there. So okay, I just thought of this. This is what I was telling my buddy Andrew. So we saw Giannis Pappas at the American Comedy Club in San Diego. It's a dope little spot in downtown, and Andrew like is stationed out here for Navy shit. So he's like working 12-hour days. Okay. So we go to this, and this motherfucker ends up falling asleep. Okay. In the comedy club, in the show. And mind you, like it was a Thursday night, and there wasn't that many people there. So like him sleeping was like
one of the, you can noticeable. It's like you see
noticeable. And I'm with him, but I'm dying at Giannis because he's killing. But then my friend is just dead ass asleep. So when it was all done, he's like, man, that was like whatever. I'm like, bro, okay, let's do this. We'll take 6 months. 6 months. You take time, and we will both are. And I want to now broach this to you because I think you're a funny guy, and I haven't told this to Wesley, but I think it would be fun for him too. We all take 6 months to gather up 4 minutes of material, 4 minutes, and we find a club open mic night, and we all go the same night. And we all support each other, even if we're dog shit. You motherfuckers better be laughing from me in the back. Okay. Right. So I say we take the time to get material together and try and do 3 to 4 minutes of stand-up on an open mic night, whether that be in LA or San Diego. If you guys come down for a weekend and we just fucking go to one of the clubs that on that night and we just try and do 4 minutes of material.
What do you think? I'm actually kind of down.
Wouldn't that fucking push
Bro,
us all a little
literally
bit?
every time I leave a comedy show, I'm like in my head, I'm like thinking of like if I were to make a bit, like what would it be? Like I'm like
Right.
thinking of things like oh, in my head, I'm like I'm laughing like oh, that's kind of funny. Like I feel like that'd
Right.
be funny.
I'm
But
telling you, Brandon.
bro, that'd be kind of sick, low key.
You give yourself, I'll send out a mass text and I'll get fucking whoever's down. Everyone gets 6 months to make
Also,
4
I
months.
feel like Connor would be good at that.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Connor would be hilarious.
Yes. 100%. I say, even if people who we don't, I want to get trapped. I want to get everyone to try. We'll support each other. Go up,
that'd be
do
low-key
3 to 4
sick.
minutes of your fucking best shit,
That'd be dope.
and even if nothing comes out of it, you can say like,
You did it,
yeah, fuck it. Like it was something like me and my boys did, and we ended up all supporting each other and laughing our asses off.
Facts. That'd be
I think it'd be great, Brandon.
That'd be dope, low key.
I say we end up doing that, Brandon.
I'm down, bro. Make it happen.
I'll make it happen. I'll send out some fucking.
I'll be there. I'll be on stage.
I think you would probably
I'll
end up
either bomb or I'll bomb or I'll kill, bro. So one or the other.
There's no in between, right?
There's no in between. Yeah.
There's no in between. You're either
There's
gonna
no in
fucking
between.
absolutely get everyone on your side, or you're gonna be like, who the fuck let him on stage?
Bro, one suggestion if you ever had for one of the podcasts. I don't know if you've ever listened to Giannis Pappas when he was doing his podcast with Chris.
History Hyenas.
Yeah, his episode with Tim Dillon, one of the funniest episodes I have ever heard.
On History Hyenas?
Yes, if you've never seen it, you have to watch it. It's so fucking funny.
Have you seen Tim Dillon with Jessica Kirsten?
Jessica Kirsten, is that
it's that older woman with the
yes,
black they're talking about fat activism.
Yeah, yes.
Bro, I literally rewinded that shit 3 different times, and I'm cackling in my own apartment by myself. And people are like, probably like, this guy's lost his fucking mind in his own home. I'm like dying because his laugh is now also getting me to fucking laugh, because he's just like red beat face, just like, and she's like, I needed help. Like I was way overweight and like just. I mean, dude.
But that's how I feel because I always listen to it while I'm driving. So people are just like looking at me while I'm driving and traffic. I'm just like fucking cracking up. Like, what the fuck is this guy laughing at?
Dude, I mean, his podcast has gotten me through so many runs where I'm laughing to myself too. And like, I don't even care. I'm just running, laughing. Like I look like a fucking one of the, I just like, if I didn't have running clothes on, they'd be like, he's definitely got some mental issues for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like look like a runner, so like, oh, he's maybe listening to
something. Why the fuck is this guy smirking at me? Like smiling at me?
Yeah. Literally dying running, and then I'm just like, ha ha ha.
Bro, his like relationship with like Ben, how like they
oh my
bounce
God.
off each other is so fun. He'll ask Ben a question and he'll be like, shut up.
And Ben just like, he's like, you want me to answer honestly? Answer honestly. And then he'll be like, well, I think he's like, shut up.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Oh my God,
fuck,
bro.
Brandon. Well, we did an hour, dude. This was dope. This was fun. I say next time, maybe me, you, and Wes get on one of these bitches, and we just like do another hour and a half and just fucking make it like a little like the protect your park type of shit. You seen those?
That's some bullshit.
Just bullshit, toxic shit. I think that's where if I can get a space, bro. If I can get a space where we can do this all together in a room, and like and just have. Like, yeah, if we can all get together in a room, dude, you guys come out here. We all get a little tipsy, have some fun, and just talk some shit for an hour and a half.
That'd be fucking
I say we do it, bro. Well, TA Certified episode 6 with the Master, the Son, and the Holy One, Brandon Guillory, fighter, always. All right, ending.